The stars were quiet that night, their light glimmering faintly across the black canvas of space. In the vast emptiness beyond Earth's orbit, the alien scout ship moved silently, its sensors scanning every planet, asteroid, and ship that drifted too close. The alien crew had been traveling for months, looking for any sign of weakness in the human fleet. They believed that Earth was primitive, a minor civilization with nothing more than a handful of outdated ships. But as the scout approached the coordinates of the so-called Earth Warship, a chill ran through the alien crew. The moment their scanners touched the vessel, a wave of panic swept across the bridge. Their advanced instruments, designed to detect even the tiniest weapon systems, went haywire. Energy readings spiked, shields flared beyond normal limits, and a strange, almost living signal pulsed from the human ship. Captain Theric, the alien leader, banged his clawed fists against the command console. "What is this?" "Report," he demanded, his voice tight with fear. Lieutenant Vra, his second in command, hesitated. The readings were impossible. No single ship should have power like this. "Captain, it's unlike anything we've scanned before. The energy, it's overwhelming. We cannot predict it." Theric's eyes narrowed. He had led countless raids, conquered worlds, and faced enemies that could destroy fleets. Yet, this human creation made him doubt everything he knew about warfare. His mind raced. Could a primitive species really have developed such a weapon? Back on Earth, the warship drifted calmly in orbit. Its massive hull gleamed under the light of the nearby sun, reflecting countless stars. Inside, Captain Alera walked through the command bridge, her steps measured and confident. Her crew, a mix of humans and AI-assisted operators, worked silently but efficiently. Monitors displayed data streams, maps of alien movements, and shield statuses. Everything was under control, and yet there was an unspoken tension in the air. Alera stopped in front of the main console. Her eyes scanned the alien fleet approaching from the edge of the solar system. She had expected them. The humans had prepared for this moment for decades, but preparation alone did not guarantee victory. Strategy, timing, and courage would be crucial. "Raise shields to full strength," she commanded. "Let them see us, let them make their mistake." Her voice was calm, almost serene, but her words carried weight. Every crew member understood that the next few hours could change the course of human history. In the alien scout ship, the panic spread like wildfire. Sensors that had never failed before were now signaling impossible threats. "Captain, they have detected us," Bra whispered. The word detected did not capture the full meaning. The aliens had assumed humans were primitive, slow, and predictable. But the warship had not only detected them, it had already anticipated their movements. Theric's claws clenched. "Prepare the strike fleet," he growled. "If we do not destroy it now, we risk total annihilation." But as the message went out, strange readings continued to flood the alien systems. Their communications began to falter, interference spreading like a storm across their network. The warship's AI, which humans had nicknamed Sentinel, was already reacting to every possible attack vector. It moved faster than their sensors could track, repositioning defenses and preparing countermeasures that the aliens could not even comprehend. In the control room of the warship, Lieutenant Marcus leaned over his console. "Captain, they're trying to coordinate a multi-pronged attack. But every signal they send is delayed, corrupted. It's like we're predicting them before they act." Alera nodded slowly. "Exactly. Let them overcommit. Let them think they are in control." Her gaze shifted to the view screen, where distant alien ships glimmered against the stars. To the aliens, this sight was supposed to inspire fear in humans. Instead, it was humans who now held the advantage. As the first wave of alien fighters entered the warship's radar range, alarms blared across the bridge. The human crew tensed, ready for impact. But nothing hit them. The alien ships seemed to pause, as if invisible hands held them in place. Then, one by one, their systems began to fail. Engines sputtered, weapons malfunctioned, and shields flickered uncontrollably. On the alien scout ship, Theric's shriek echoed across the bridge. "What is happening?" Why can't we fire? Vra tried to respond, but words caught in his throat. Every system they relied upon was being turned against them by an unseen force. The humans had not yet fired a shot, and yet their fleet was already crippled. Pull back. Theric ordered, desperation in his voice. Fall back before it's too late. But retreat was not easy. The warship had anticipated this move as well. Automated defense drones activated, creating a network of traps and barriers in space. Any alien ship that attempted to flee was intercepted, pushed back, or disabled. The panic spread among the alien ranks. Fleet commanders shouted orders that could not be executed, their technology betraying them at every turn. Inside the human warship, Elara remained calm. She moved from station to station, giving quiet instructions. Hold formation, maintain energy flow to the shields, monitor the AI's predictions. Every order was precise, every movement deliberate. Marcus, still staring at the alien fleet, finally spoke. Captain, they didn't expect this. They thought they could overwhelm us with numbers, but they are frozen. Alara's lips curved into a faint smile. They miscalculated, she said. Humans are not so easily understood. Let this be the first lesson they learn. Back in the alien council chambers, the panic was total. Leaders argued, claws and voices raised in fury and fear. Some demanded immediate surrender. Others pleaded for reinforcements, but none could offer a solution. The warship had turned what should have been a simple reconnaissance mission into a complete nightmare. In orbit around Earth, the warship remained vigilant, a silent guardian against the alien threat. Its systems hummed quietly, sending out signals that scrambled enemy communications and mapped every possible attack path. The humans were ready, not because they sought war, but because they had mastered the art of defense, combining intelligence, strategy, and technology into a single unstoppable force. Hours passed, and the alien fleet, once confident and aggressive, now floated in uncertainty. Every command, every movement was second-guessed, delayed, and disrupted. They realized too late that humans were not just another species to conquer. They were a force of nature, unpredictable and brilliant in their defense. On the warship's bridge, Elara watched the alien ships retreat slowly. Her face remained impassive, but inside, a quiet satisfaction burned. This unexpected turning point was exactly what she had predicted. The aliens had underestimated humans, assuming numbers and technology alone would win the day. They had been wrong, and now they would carry the fear of humanity back across the stars. Status report, she said calmly, as if nothing extraordinary had occurred. Marcus turned to her, awe in his eyes. They are retreating, Captain. Entire fleet crippled without a single human casualty. Elara nodded. Good. Let them learn the truth of Earth's strength. Let this be the first of many lessons. As the alien ships disappeared into the darkness, the warship drifted silently, a sentinel. In the void, the stars remained unchanged, indifferent witnesses to the human triumph. Yet something had shifted. The galaxy would never see Earth the same way again. The unexpected turning point had arrived, and with it, a new chapter in human history had begun, one defined not by fear, but by power, strategy, and the unyielding will to survive. Even now, as the warship continued its vigil, the AI hummed quietly, ready for the next move. Captain Elara knew that the battle had been won, but the war for respect in the galaxy had only just begun. And somewhere, beyond the edge of human sight, other civilizations would soon realize that underestimating Earth was the greatest mistake they could ever make. The alien capital ship hung like a black mountain in the void, its surface bristling with weaponry and sensor arrays. Inside the council chamber, a vast room lined with jagged crystal walls, the leaders of the alien empire gathered. Their eyes glowed with tension, their bodies rigid with fear. The word Earth had always been a minor threat in their history logs, a small, technologically limited planet far below their usual targets. Yet the recent encounter had shattered every expectation. Explain this, snarled High Commander Theric, pacing in front of the central console. How can a single human warship disable our fleet before it even fires a shot? Ra, his loyal lieutenant, hesitated. His claws twitched nervously as he manipulated the holographic display, projecting the images of the disabled scout ships and crippled fighters. Captain, the humans, their technology, it is unlike anything we've ever seen. Our scans cannot penetrate their systems. Every maneuver we attempted was predicted. Our ships, they were disabled before they even moved. The room went silent. The other council members exchanged uneasy glances, their elongated faces twisting with disbelief. It was one thing to face a dangerous enemy. It was another to face one that seemed to see the future. Impossible, growled Drell, a general with a record of conquering 35 worlds. No species can develop technology that can predict war moves before they happen. There must be an error in our data. Check the sensors again. Therek's claws struck the table. We have checked 1,000 times, Drell. There is no error. The humans, they are beyond our understanding. His voice trembled with rage and fear. If we strike blindly, we will all be destroyed. We need a new strategy. A murmur ran through the council. Some whispered of surrender, others of retreat. But the idea of retreat was almost unthinkable for an empire that had conquered countless star systems. Fear, however, was stronger than pride. Counselor Vera, a wiry alien with sharp, piercing eyes, leaned forward. Perhaps we underestimated them. Perhaps they have allies. Or some unknown weapon, something alive, that guides their defenses. Her voice was low, but edged with terror. I have never felt fear like this before. Their warship, it is not just a machine. It is something more. Therek's eyes narrowed. Speculation will not save us. We need facts. Send out probes, scan every human system. Find out the secret before we decide on the next move. Vra shook his head. Probes will be destroyed, Captain. Their defenses, we cannot even reach them. Every signal we send is intercepted. Every attempt to scan them fails. They know we are watching, and yet they remain calm. Calm? Another council member hissed. That is what terrifies me the most. Fear is natural in battle, hesitation common in war. But they do not even flinch, as if they know the outcome already. The room fell silent again. Therek turned toward the large viewing window, staring at the distant blue planet that had been their target. The humans had done what no alien species had achieved before. They had taken control without firing a shot, had instilled fear into the hearts of an empire. They are not ordinary, Therek muttered. They are evolution perfected. Every calculation we make, every tactic we devise, they have already anticipated it. They are prepared for everything. Counselor Vera's voice broke the silence. Do we attack? Or do we retreat? If we attack, we risk total annihilation. If we retreat, the humans will know fear, and it may only increase their arrogance. We must decide quickly. Therek's mind raced. In his decades of command, he had never faced uncertainty like this. Battles were supposed to be numbers, strategy, and firepower. But with humans, these rules no longer applied. Every assumption had been proven wrong. And yet, he could not let fear paralyze him. We will convene the War Council immediately, he said, his voice cold but commanding. Every commander, every strategist, present their analysis. We cannot act rashly. One wrong move and it is over. The humans, they will destroy us if we underestimate them. Minutes later, the War Council convened in a smaller chamber, the air thick with tension. Generals, scientists, and tacticians crowded around holographic maps of the solar system. Reds marked the positions of their crippled fleet, while a glowing blue represented the human warship, silent, imposing, unstoppable. Look at this, General Drell said, pointing at the holographic display. Our entire attack plan has failed. Every ship we deployed was neutralized before engagement. Our technology is useless against them. Therek's claws clenched. We cannot simply throw more ships at them. If we do, they will annihilate us. We need a new strategy. Something unexpected. Something they cannot predict. A young tactician, barely 3 cycles into service, hesitated before speaking. "Captain, perhaps we underestimate the humans in another way. They are not just strong. They are intelligent, adaptive, almost aware of our thoughts." Theric froze. The room went still. None dared to speak for a moment. The idea was terrifying. To face an enemy that could predict your every move, understand your strategy before you even made it, was a nightmare no warrior had imagined. Vrah finally broke the silence. "We need reconnaissance, yes. But more than that, we need deception. We need to find a way to confuse them, to mask our intentions. We cannot fight them head-on. They are already too far ahead." Theric paced, claws scraping against the metallic floor. Deception, yes. Perhaps a feint, a diversion, something they cannot anticipate. But it must be perfect. One mistake, and we will all be gone. Counselor Vera added softly. "And yet, do we even understand what we are up against? The humans, their warship, is only one vessel. What if it is part of a larger network? What if this is only the beginning of their power?" Theric's gaze hardened. The thought had occurred to him, but hearing it voiced aloud made it more real. He had always believed in strength through numbers, power through conquest. But now, he faced a species that challenged everything he knew about war. A species that could turn the very rules of battle against him. "We strike soon," he declared finally, his voice resolute. But with caution. Every probe, every fleet movement monitored. Every attack calculated. We cannot afford mistakes. The council members nodded, though fear still lingered in their eyes. The humans had not attacked yet, and that was part of the terror. The aliens had expected an easy victory, and instead they were paralyzed by uncertainty, haunted by the power of a single warship. As the council adjourned, Theric lingered by the viewing window, staring at the distant blue planet. The humans had done something no other species had ever done. They had forced an entire empire to question its strength, to doubt its invincibility. Somewhere inside the warship, Captain Alara and her crew continued their silent vigil, unaware of the chaos they had caused across the stars. They had not fired a shot, yet they had already won the psychological battle. Their calm, their preparation, and their intelligence had created an unexpected turning point. Theric's thoughts lingered on one thing, and one thing alone. They had underestimated humans. And that mistake would haunt them forever. Outside, the stars shimmered, silent witnesses to the tension. The alien empire had faced countless enemies, yet none had prepared them for this. A single warship, a single human captain, had rewritten the rules of engagement. And as the fleet repaired, recalibrated, and reconsidered its next move, one truth became painfully clear. Earth was no longer just a minor world. It was a force to be reckoned with. The council chamber emptied, but the unease remained. Whispers echoed through the corridors of the capital ship. Generals argued in hushed tones. Scientists ran calculations that would have been unnecessary on any other day. And Captain Theric, usually unshakable, walked alone to the command window, staring at the distant blue planet, his mind racing with questions he could not answer. How had humans achieved such power? What was the true extent of their technology? And most importantly, what would they do next? The answers were unknown. And that uncertainty, so alien to the conquerors, was far more terrifying than any weapon they had ever faced. The unexpected turning point had passed. The aliens had realized they were no longer masters of the universe in this sector. A new reality had emerged, and one simple fact dominated every mind aboard the capital ship. Humans were not to be underestimated. And somewhere in the depths of the galaxy, whispers began. Stories spread among alien fleets, tales of a warship that could see the future, a planet that could withstand an empire, and a species that defied every expectation. The galaxy would take notice soon enough. But for now, the Alien Council could do nothing but react, plan, and fear. The humans had already won the first battle, not with weapons, but with intelligence, patience, and strategy. The game had changed. And no one aboard the alien capital ship would forget. Earth's warship floated silently in orbit, an immense shadow against the blue planet below. Its hull, sleek and polished, reflected the light of a distant sun. From the outside, it appeared calm, even passive. But inside, the atmosphere was electric. The crew moved with precise coordination, a mixture of humans and AI-assisted operators, each performing their role with skill and focus. Captain Alara stood at the center of the command bridge, her posture straight, her eyes scanning a large holographic display of the alien fleet. Hundreds of enemy vessels hovered at the edge of human-controlled space. Every one of them was advanced, built for war, and filled with warriors who had conquered countless worlds. Yet, none dared to approach the warship. Not yet. The aliens are cautious, said Lieutenant Marcus, leaning over a console. Their fleets, they've stopped advancing. It's like they're afraid to make the first move. Alara's eyes narrowed. Good. Let them think they have time. Every second they hesitate is a second we gain. Her voice was calm but carried an edge of authority that silenced the murmurs around her. For decades, humans had prepared for this moment. The warship was more than a vessel. It was the culmination of centuries of innovation, research, and foresight. Its AI, known among the crew as Sentinel, was capable of processing millions of calculations in the time it took to blink. It could anticipate enemy movements, predict strategies, and adapt systems faster than any human mind or alien fleet could comprehend. Marcus pointed to a series of blips on the display. Captain, they're trying to test our defenses. Small strike units approaching from the outer edge of our detection range. But they've stopped. Something's wrong on their side. Alara's lips curved into a faint smile. Exactly. Let them probe. That is part of the plan. Sentinel will track, adapt, and neutralize them. But the key is we show just enough and hide the rest. In the control room, engineers monitored the warship's core systems. Energy readings glowed on every screen, showing the immense power flowing through the vessel. The ship's shields were not only protective barriers, they were active prediction grids, capable of reacting to attacks before they were launched. Every weapon system was calibrated to counter specific threats. Lieutenant Zara, the chief engineer, spoke up. Captain, the aliens do not understand the scale of our capabilities. They think they are testing us, but in reality, they are the ones being tested. Alara nodded. Correct. Let's ensure they fail this test spectacularly. Maintain standard protocols, but prepare the adaptive measures. Sentinels should be ready for any unexpected maneuver. Meanwhile, outside the warship, the alien fleets were tense. Their commanders whispered among themselves, unsure how to proceed. Every probe they sent was disabled before it even reached the ship. Their attempts at communication were intercepted, scrambled, and analyzed instantly. The humans were not reacting. They were controlling the battlefield, silently, without a single shot fired. Inside the warship, the AI's presence was subtle, but palpable. Sentinel interfaced with every system, every crew member, offering calculations, suggestions, and warnings in real time. It was more than a machine. It was an extension of human strategy, capable of seeing patterns and predicting outcomes that would baffle even the most experienced alien tacticians. Marcus turned to Alara, his eyes wide with admiration. Captain, it's incredible. Sentinel anticipates their every move. Even the smallest adjustments they make are accounted for instantly. We could take the entire fleet down before they even realize it. Alara's expression remained calm. That is the point, Marcus. We are not here to destroy recklessly. Our strength lies in control, precision, and the ability to remain invisible until the moment we strike. The aliens believe they have options. In reality, they have none. Suddenly, alarms blared across the bridge. Sensors detected multiple alien strike units moving in an unusual pattern. The crew tensed, ready to respond. But Alara remained composed. Stand by, she ordered. Do not engage yet. Let Sentinel analyze their formation. The AI processed data at unimaginable speed. Within seconds, it identified weak points, calculated optimal defensive positions, and suggested minimal interventions to neutralize the threat. As the alien units approached, their engines flared. only to be disrupted by energy pulses from the warship. The units halted abruptly, their systems overloaded, and they drifted helplessly. The alien commanders were stunned. Their probes, carefully designed to test defenses, had failed completely. Every calculation they had made, every expectation, had been anticipated. Fear spread across their fleet like wildfire. Back on the warship, Alara addressed her crew. Observe carefully. This is how we maintain control without unnecessary violence. Precision, patience, and intelligence are our greatest weapons. Zara spoke quietly, almost to herself. Captain, they do not even realize the extent of our strength. We have only shown fraction. If they attack in full force, they will regret it. Entirely. Alara nodded. Exactly. And that is why we must remain calm. Let them make mistakes. Let them overcommit. Then and only then will we reveal the full power of Earth. Hours passed, and the alien fleets hesitated. Every attempt to advance, every maneuver, was met with subtle, invisible resistance. The humans had created a perfect psychological battlefield. The aliens were uncertain, anxious, and increasingly desperate. Marcus leaned over the console again. Captain, they're communicating among themselves. Fear is spreading. They are debating whether to retreat or attack. Their unity is breaking. Alara's eyes softened, not with pity, but with respect. Good. Fear is a powerful tool. It reveals weakness. It forces decisions, often poor ones. And right now, the aliens are trapped by it. In a quiet chamber deep within the ship, the engineers monitored energy reserves and weapon systems. They had prepared contingency plans for every possible scenario, yet none were as important as the current moment. Sentinel was guiding them, predicting alien tactics before they even thought of them. Every shield adjustment, every weapon calibration was precise to the millisecond. The humans were not aggressive. They did not fire upon the alien fleet. Instead, they let their strength speak silently. Every ship in the alien armada knew they faced a superior force, yet none could understand it fully. That uncertainty became their greatest enemy. Alara walked to the observation window, staring at the alien vessels, frozen in their approach. The humans had mastered patience. They had prepared for years, developed the warship as a masterpiece of strategy and technology, and now, that preparation bore fruit. Captain, Marcus said quietly, they're talking about retreat. Entire fleet moving slowly back. Alara's gaze did not waver. Let them go for now. Retreat is temporary. Curiosity will bring them back. And when they return, they will come knowing that humans are not a force to underestimate. The alien commanders, meanwhile, could only speculate about the humans' hidden strength. Their sensors had failed, their technology had failed, and their predictions had failed. They were left with a single terrifying truth. Earth's warship was more than just a machine. It was a living system, adaptive, intelligent, and deadly. On the human warship, the crew relaxed slightly, though vigilance remained. They had won the first psychological battle without firing a shot. The aliens had been forced to recognize that Earth was prepared, capable, and aware. Alara turned to her crew. This is only the beginning. We have shown them part of our strength, but our true power remains hidden. And when the time comes, we will use it to ensure Earth's safety. For now, observation, patience, and readiness are our weapons. Marcus nodded. Yes, Captain. They will remember this day. They will think twice before challenging us again. Alara's expression was calm, almost serene. They will, but we must always be ready. Strength is not just in weapons, but in knowledge, preparation, and the ability to act when the moment demands it. And that is humanity's greatest hidden strength. As the alien fleets drifted slowly into the void, their communication systems filled with uncertainty, the warship remained silent, a guardian and a warning. The humans had not only survived the encounter, they had controlled it completely. And somewhere deep within the stars, the first whispers of fear spread among alien civilizations. They had learned something they could never unlearn. Underestimating humans and their hidden strength was a mistake that could cost entire fleets, entire worlds, and perhaps an empire. And the humans, calm and prepared, waited. The next chapter of this encounter was coming. And when it did, the aliens would face the full force of a species that had learned not just to survive, but to dominate with intelligence, precision, and foresight. The void of space seemed calm, almost serene, but that calm was an illusion. Hidden in the shadows of distant asteroids and the faint glow of a dying star, the alien fleet waited. Their earlier retreat had been temporary, a way to regroup, repair damaged ships, and plan a more cunning strike. They had underestimated humans once. They would not make that mistake again. Captain Therick's voice crackled through the alien fleet's command channels. This time, we strike together. No hesitation. No underestimation. Earth's warship may be powerful, but numbers can overwhelm even the strongest defense. Yet, even as he spoke, a quiet unease lingered among the commanders. The images of their disabled scouts, frozen mid-flight under the warship's invisible hand, haunted them. Every calculation they made, every strategy devised, seemed already anticipated. Still, pride and fear drove them forward. They could not show weakness. They had to attack. On the human warship, Captain Alara observed the alien preparations from her command bridge. Hundreds of ships formed new formations, moving with precision, but still carrying the weight of fear. The humans had learned much from the first encounter, but they remained cautious. Patience was their weapon, and they would use it to maximum effect. "Captain," Lieutenant Marcus said, pointing at the holographic display, "they're grouping into strike formations. Multiple squadrons approaching from different angles. They may think they are clever, but Sentinel is predicting every possible path." Alara nodded. "Good. Let them believe they control the attack. Every movement they make is visible to us, every intention known before it is executed. Prepare defenses, activate the adaptive countermeasures, and await." Sentinel, the AI at the heart of the warship, hummed quietly. Its systems spread across every control panel, every sensor, every weapon. Unlike the aliens, it did not act with fear, only precision. It calculated trajectories, predicted enemy maneuvers, and adjusted defenses in real time. The humans did not need to fire a single shot. They were already in control. The first clash began as alien scouts emerged from hidden positions near a dense asteroid field. Their weapons glowed as they fired toward the warship. Yet, before the beams could reach their target, energy pulses from the human vessel intercepted them mid-flight. Shields flared, lights danced across the hull, and the alien projectiles were vaporized without a trace. "What?" muttered General Drell aboard the alien flagship. His voice trembled. "How is this possible? Our weapons they should hit." "They predicted our attack," hissed Ra. "Sentinel knows our movements. Every shot we make anticipated." As the alien scouts faltered, the warship moved silently, almost imperceptibly, adjusting its shields and weapon orientation. Small drones launched from hidden bays, flanking the alien units, intercepting any that tried to flee. The aliens realized too late that they were trapped, not by force, but by precision. Every move had been calculated, every escape route anticipated. Back on the bridge, Alara remained calm. "Hold formation," she said softly. "Do not engage beyond the adaptive measures. Let them strain themselves. Let them learn the cost of underestimating humans." Zara, the chief engineer, watched the energy grids with satisfaction. "Captain, they are already weakening. Their coordination is breaking. Their fear is growing. And indeed, beginning to panic." Commands contradicted each other, fleets hesitated, and pilots faltered. The humans had. Commands contradicted each other, fleets hesitated, and pilots faltered. The humans had not struck with overwhelming firepower. They had simply controlled the battlefield, guiding the enemy into mistakes. Suddenly, a group of alien fighters attempted a flanking maneuver, hoping to strike the warship's weaker side. But as they approached, sensors detected an unexpected array of microdrones deployed in secret. These drones intercepted the attackers, dismantling their engines and weapons silently. The aliens were caught in a web they could not see, a trap set by humans who had anticipated their every strategy. "Captain," Marcus said quietly, awe in his voice, "they're trying to flank us. But they can't. Every path they take blocked. It's like we've already fought this battle before." Alera's eyes were steady.
Exactly.
Every strike they make, every tactic Sentinel has predicted and countered. They are strong, yes, but strength without understanding is useless. In the alien command bridge, chaos erupted. Signals clashed, orders overlapped, and pilots panicked as their formations broke apart. Ships collided. Some were pulled into asteroid fields by automated traps, and others were disabled silently by invisible energy pulses. The alien commanders could only watch in horror as the warship, silent and unmoving, dictated the flow of the battle. Therek's claws banged against the console. Pull back. Retreat. Regroup. But retreat was not simple. The humans had anticipated that as well. Any ship attempting to flee was guided into zones of interference where engines failed, weapons jammed, and shields flickered. Panic spread faster than orders could reach, and the alien fleet began to fracture. On the human warship, Alera turned to her crew. "They are straining themselves. Continue monitoring. Adaptive measures only. We do not need to fire a shot yet. Precision, not aggression, will win this encounter." Zara glanced at the holographic displays, noting the diminishing effectiveness of alien formations. "Captain, they don't understand. They thought numbers could overwhelm us. But every move they make, Sentinel has already calculated the counter. They're falling apart, and they don't even know why." Marcus added, "It's psychological. They fear our hidden strength more than our weapons. Every hesitation, every error, it shows weakness." Hours passed, and the alien fleet, once confident, was now fractured and uncertain. Their leaders shouted orders that could not be executed. Their formations dissolved into chaos, and the warship remained still, a silent predator, controlling the shadows of the battlefield. Alera finally spoke. "Prepare for controlled engagement. We will disable key units if necessary, but do not reveal the full power yet. Let fear guide them. Let them break themselves." The humans watched silently as alien ships collided, overextended, or became trapped by invisible defenses. Each failure reinforced the psychological grip humans had on the battle. The aliens had come expecting conquest, but instead found themselves dominated by a single, unseen force. Ra's voice trembled as he reported to Therek, "Captain, we cannot fight them. Every maneuver we attempt fails. They anticipate us, control us. The warship, it is everywhere at once." Therek's eyes burned with fury and disbelief. He had led the greatest fleets, conquered countless systems, yet never had he faced an enemy like this. The humans were not just strong, they were intelligent, precise, and utterly unyielding. Alera remained calm, observing the battlefield like a chess master watching pawns move. The aliens believed they were attacking, but in reality, they were walking into carefully laid traps. Every ship that attempted aggression found itself neutralized without a single human casualty. The shadows of space had become a battlefield, but not one defined by firepower alone. Strategy, anticipation, and psychological dominance had given humans control. The aliens could feel it, even if they could not articulate it. They were no longer masters of this encounter. Finally, after hours of failed maneuvers and mounting losses, the alien commanders began to signal for retreat. Their fleet, once confident and threatening, now dissolved into a scattered formation, retreating into the depths of space. The warship had not fired a single devastating shot, yet it had won the battle completely. On the human bridge, Alera turned to her crew. "Observe. Learn. This is how we control the battlefield. Strength is measured not by destruction, but by the ability to dominate without revealing all." Zara smiled faintly. "They will think twice before returning. And when they do, we will be ready. Their fear is now our ally." The stars shimmered around the warship, silent witnesses to the human triumph. The aliens had come expecting easy victory. They had met precision, intelligence, and unseen strength instead. And in the shadows of the battlefield, humans had proven that the unexpected, hidden force could be far more terrifying than raw power. As the alien fleet vanished into the void, Marcus leaned back in awe. "Captain, we didn't even fire our main weapons. They don't even know the half of it." Alara's gaze remained steady, fixed on the receding alien vessels.
"No."
And that is exactly how it should be. Let them think they know our strength. The next time they come, they will see the full truth. And somewhere deep in the shadows of space, the aliens would remember this encounter forever. They had faced humans, underestimated their hidden strength, and learned a lesson that would echo across their empire. The clash in the shadows had ended. But the war was far from over. The warship drifted silently above Earth, a massive sentinel against the void. Its hull gleamed faintly, reflecting the distant sun like a shard of silver. From the outside, it appeared as a powerful but ordinary ship, yet within its walls lay secrets that even the most experienced alien commanders could never imagine. Captain Alara walked slowly across the bridge, her eyes calm and calculating. The recent clash had left the alien fleet scattered and demoralized. But Alara knew the true strength of the warship was not in its guns or shields. It was in what the aliens had never seen: intelligence, adaptability, and hidden systems designed to turn the tide of battle before a shot was ever fired. "Zara," Alara said, her voice quiet but firm, "status report on the adaptive systems." Zara, the chief engineer, turned from her console. "Captain, all core systems are functioning at peak efficiency. Sentinel is processing every possible attack vector the aliens could use. It's not just predicting their movements, it's adapting to potential strategies we haven't even thought of yet." Alara nodded. "Exactly. And that is why they failed. The aliens believe our power is in weapons and shields. They do not understand the warship itself is the weapon. Every sensor, every drone, every energy matrix is connected. It learns, evolves, and responds before they even act." Marcus, the tactical officer, leaned over a console, studying the holographic projections of alien movements. "Captain, even when they regroup, they will face the same problem. Their attempts to deceive us will fail. Every maneuver we anticipate, every flanking route, neutralized before it begins. It's like the ship is alive, predicting everything." Alara's gaze remained steady. "In a way, it is alive. Not in the way humans think, but in its capacity to adapt and respond. It has become more than a machine. That is the secret the aliens cannot see. And until they discover it, they are blind." In a lower chamber, deep within the warship, engineers and AI specialists worked on the ship's hidden systems. These systems were not meant for show. They were designed for total control of the battlefield. Drones, hidden turrets, adaptive shields, energy redirection fields, all could activate silently, countering threats before an enemy realized they existed. Zara walked through the chamber, observing the intricate networks of circuits, energy conduits, and AI cores. "Captain," she said, "we could deploy only a fraction of our hidden weapons and the alien fleet would be destroyed. They would never see it coming. But the point is control. Let them believe they are fighting. Let them overextend. And then when the moment is right, we reveal the truth." Alara moved closer, placing her hand on a control panel. "This is why we train not only for combat, but for observation, prediction, and patience. Sentinel gives us the ability to anticipate outcomes, but the human crew makes the choices. That combination makes us unstoppable." Back on the bridge, the holographic display showed scattered alien formations. The fleet had regrouped partially, but their hesitation was obvious. Fear had become a tool for the humans, and the aliens had no way to counter it. Marcus shook his head in disbelief. "Captain, they think they can probe our defenses again. But even their probes would be neutralized instantly. They don't realize that every possible attack has already been accounted for. Even the paths they haven't taken yet." Alara smiled faintly. "That is the point. We do not need to anticipate everything. They reveal it themselves. Every fear, every hesitation, every assumption they make is a window. We exploit that window without striking, without giving them a chance to fight on equal terms. Meanwhile, deep in the alien empire, Theric and his commanders struggled to understand what had happened. Every scan, every probe, every attempt to analyze the warship had failed. It was as though the ship had become a ghost, invisible to all but the human crew. They could see its shape, they could sense its presence, but its systems, its intelligence, its power, they were unknowable. "We have fought countless civilizations," Bra whispered, "and never have we faced anything like this. They are beyond our understanding." Theric's eyes burned with frustration. This is not possible. They are human. How can a single planet produce technology that surpasses an empire? Vra lowered his head. "It is not just technology, Captain. It is intelligence, preparation, calculation. They did not act blindly. They controlled the engagement from start to finish. And they will do it again." On the warship, Ilera addressed her senior officers. "We have revealed part of our strength. Enough to instill fear, enough to force hesitation. But the true power remains hidden. The AI, the adaptive systems, the concealed weapons, all of it is ready for when the aliens think they have a chance. And that will be their downfall." Zara added quietly, "Captain, the aliens do not realize the warship can operate independently if needed. It can protect itself, adapt, and even counter multiple fleets simultaneously. They will never see the full scope until it is too late." Ilera's gaze moved to the view screen, where feints indicated alien ships regrouping far from Earth. "Let them retreat for now. They will carry their fear back to their empire, and curiosity will bring them back. But when they do, we will be ready. Every hidden system, every adaptive measure, will activate. And they will learn the full truth of Earth's strength." Below the main deck, Sentinel processed billions of calculations per second, coordinating energy flows, shielding strategies, and automated drones. The warship had become a symphony of precision, a machine capable of controlling space itself. And yet it was not fully revealed. Its full potential remained a secret, a warning yet to be delivered. Marcus turned to Ilera, his voice full of awe. "Captain, if we unleashed everything now, the aliens would be destroyed instantly. Their fleet would not survive a single engagement." Ilera nodded slowly. "Yes. But power without control is wasted. We strike only when necessary. Strategy, patience, and precision, those are our true weapons. And in this war, those weapons are stronger than any cannon." As the alien fleet drifted back into the darkness, scattered and uncertain, the humans watched silently. They had not fired a single main weapon, yet the outcome was clear. The aliens had been defeated, not by violence, but by preparation, adaptability, and intelligence. Zara whispered, almost to herself, "They think they are safe. They do not understand the warship. They cannot comprehend it. And when they try to fight again, it will be too late." Ilera placed her hand on the central console, feeling the hum of energy beneath her fingers. Every battle begins with knowledge. Every victory begins with preparation. The aliens have learned the first lesson. Humans are not to be underestimated. But the true lesson they will learn only when we choose to reveal it. Outside, the stars shimmered silently. Earth's warship remained a sentinel, calm and imposing, its secrets hidden deep within. The aliens had come seeking conquest. They had met mastery. And in the shadows of the cosmos, the humans prepared for the next encounter, knowing that their hidden strength had already changed the rules of war forever. The galaxy would never look at Earth the same way again. The stars stretched endlessly across the void, silent witnesses to the tense quiet that had settled over the solar system. The alien fleet, once confident and aggressive, had retreated into the darkness, nursing broken ships and shattered pride. Yet, their retreat was temporary, a mere pause to regroup. Captain Theric would not give up easily. He was determined, ruthless, and unwilling to allow Earth to remain undefeated. On the human warship, Captain Ilera observed the distant alien vessels from her bridge. Hundreds of alien ships glimmered faintly against the black, each a reminder of what was at stake. The humans had gained a psychological edge, but Alara knew that complacency was dangerous. Strategy and patience were powerful weapons, but only if paired with readiness. "Captain," Lieutenant Marcus said, pointing at the holographic display, "they're reorganizing. Multiple squadrons are moving to new coordinates. They may be preparing another strike." Alara's eyes narrowed. "Let them. Sentinel will calculate every possible move. We are not just defending, we are controlling the battlefield. Every hesitation they make, every fear-driven decision, it is ours to exploit." In the alien fleet, Theric convened a council aboard his flagship. The room was dark, filled with anxious commanders and technical officers. Every report highlighted failures and losses, but no solution appeared sufficient. The humans' warship was more than a machine. It was a predator, anticipating every strategy before the aliens could act. "We must change tactics," Theric growled. "Our first approach failed because we underestimated them. This time we strike differently. We use stealth, deception, and overwhelming numbers. They will not predict our next move." Ra, his loyal lieutenant, shook his head. "Captain, even if we attempt stealth, they have already proven the ability to anticipate. They do not fight like other civilizations. We cannot rely on force alone." Theric's claws clenched. "Then we adapt. If we cannot win by brute strength, we will test them in ways they cannot expect. We will force them into chaos, into error. That is the only way to overcome humans." Meanwhile, on the warship, Alara prepared her crew for the inevitable confrontation. Hidden systems had been activated, drones deployed in secret, and adaptive shields enhanced. Sentinel worked tirelessly, processing millions of variables, predicting potential enemy strategies before they even formed. "Captain," Zara said quietly, "they are likely preparing an ambush. But even their hidden moves, Sentinel has already accounted for most possibilities. Only a small fraction remains unpredictable, and we can handle that." Alara nodded. "Good. Let them come. Every plan they make will be visible to us, every mistake amplified. This is the turning point. They believe they can challenge us, but in reality, they are stepping into a trap of their own making." In the depths of space, the alien fleet began to move again. They approached Earth's orbit carefully, sending out small probes first, testing for defenses. But each probe was intercepted silently, neutralized by hidden drones or scrambled by adaptive energy fields. The humans had anticipated every standard tactic. The aliens were now forced to improvise. On the bridge, Marcus observed the alien formations breaking apart under invisible pressure. "Captain, their coordination is weakening already. Even before engaging fully, their fleet is fracturing." Alara's gaze remained calm. "Exactly. Control is not just about strength, it is about patience. Let fear guide them. Let overconfidence betray them. Every hesitation they make is an advantage." Deep inside the alien fleet, panic was spreading. Every commander knew something was wrong. They could sense the humans' presence, but every attack they planned was met with unseen resistance. Engines sputtered, shields flickered, and formations faltered. The aliens had been trained to expect battle, yet they could not comprehend this level of control. Theric's voice roared over the command channels. "Focus. Do not let fear dominate your actions. We will overwhelm them. Strike with everything." But even as he spoke, the warship's drones intercepted key strike units. Energy pulses disabled engines silently. Communications were jammed. The aliens realized too late that they were fighting not just humans, but the intelligence of a warship capable of controlling every variable in engagement. On the human bridge, Alara remained serene. "Prepare for countermeasures, but hold fire. Let them reveal themselves. The turning point is not when we strike, it is when they break themselves." Hours passed. The alien fleet attempted every possible maneuver, every formation, every attack pattern. Yet each was anticipated, countered, or neutralized without a single human ship being harmed. The aliens were forced into chaos, their cohesion collapsing under invisible pressure. Marcus shook his head in disbelief. "Captain, they are falling apart completely." Their fleet is fractured. Their commanders panicked. Every attempt to regain control fails instantly. Alara nodded slowly.
Good.
Let this be the lesson they cannot forget. Every species in the galaxy believes power is in weapons or numbers. Humans, we know the true power is control, intelligence, and anticipation. Ra, observing from the alien flagship, growled in frustration. Captain, we cannot win. Every move we make is already countered. Their warship, it is alive. It sees everything. Theric slammed his claws against the console. Alive? No, it is just a machine. But it fights as if it has a mind of its own. They must have developed something beyond our understanding. On the human warship, Alara moved to the observation window. She watched the alien fleet struggling, their panic and hesitation visible even from light years away. They will retreat again, she said softly. But the turning point has been reached. They know now that humans are not ordinary, that Earth is not weak. And when they return, they will face the consequences of underestimating us. Zara smiled faintly. Captain, even now they don't understand our hidden systems. The drones, the adaptive shields, the energy fields, all remain partially concealed. If we needed to, we could eliminate half their fleet without a single casualty. Alara's gaze was steady. That is why patience is more powerful than aggression. The turning point is not the first victory. It is the moment the enemy realizes they cannot win. That realization, it is far more devastating than any weapon. Outside, the stars shimmered silently. The alien fleet slowly retreated, fractured and hesitant, carrying with them fear and confusion. The humans had not yet struck decisively, yet the turning point of this engagement had already occurred. Marcus spoke quietly, awe in his voice. Captain, they'll think twice before returning. And when they do, we will be ready for them. Every hidden weapon, every adaptive system prepared to strike if necessary. Alara nodded, her calm expression unwavering.
Yes.
The galaxy will learn what Earth has always known. Strategy, intelligence, and control are the greatest weapons of all. The turning point is not the end, but the beginning of our dominance. And that is a lesson no alien will forget. In the shadows of space, the aliens whispered among themselves, trying to understand the human strength. They had come expecting an easy conquest. Instead, they had faced the precision, patience, and intelligence of a single warship and its crew. The realization burned like a wound. They had underestimated humans, and that mistake could cost them everything. The warship remained silent, calm, and vigilant. The turning point had passed, and the humans had proven that intelligence, preparation, and hidden strength could control the battlefield even without a single devastating shot. Somewhere in the alien empire, stories began to spread. Tales of a warship that anticipated every move, a crew that controlled outcomes before battle began, and a planet that could withstand an empire. Fear would grow. Curiosity would return. And when it did, the humans would be ready. The turning point was complete. And with it, the fate of the first true interstellar confrontation had shifted irrevocably in Earth's favor. The black void of space stretched endlessly, calm and silent. Yet beneath that silence, tension crackled like a storm. The alien fleet, humiliated and fractured by previous encounters, had returned. This time, they were determined, not just to attack, but to destroy the humans' warship and reclaim their pride. Captain Theric stood on the command deck of his flagship, his claws gripping the railing. Every sensor reading screamed caution, every officer whispered fear. Yet he refused to show weakness. This time, he growled, we strike with everything. Numbers, firepower, tactics, no mistakes. Earth will fall, or we will die trying. Vra, his lieutenant, glanced nervously at the approaching ships. Captain, their warship, it is unlike anything we have faced. Every tactic, every move already countered before we acted. Even now, they may anticipate our attack. Theric's eyes blazed with fury. Then we attack in shadows. We split, we mislead, we overwhelm. Only fools hesitate when victory is within reach. Meanwhile, on the human warship, Captain Alara observed the alien fleet from her bridge. The stars around the approaching armada glimmered faintly, a testament to the scale of the incoming threat. Hundreds of ships, bristling with weapons, were moving in formations meant to intimidate. Yet Alara remained calm, her fingers tracing the console as Sentinel ran simulations, predicting enemy maneuvers and preparing countermeasures. "Captain," Lieutenant Marcus said quietly, "they're coming in multiple waves. They've learned something from before, but even now they cannot predict everything. Sentinel is handling their formations, anticipating attacks we have never seen." Alara's expression remained serene. "Good. Let them think they control the battle. Every wave they send will be part of our plan. Remember, the human's greatest strength is patience, preparation, and control. We strike only when the time is right." Below the main deck, Zara monitored the energy grids and adaptive systems. "Captain, the fleet doesn't understand our hidden defenses. They think they are advancing, but every drone, every shield, every concealed weapon is ready. We can counter them instantly, but we do not strike all at once." Alara nodded. "Exactly. Precision, not aggression, is the key. Let them overextend. Let fear guide them. Only then do we unleash full power." The alien fleet entered the outer range of the warship's detection systems. They launched probes and small strike units first, testing for weaknesses. But every probe was disabled before it reached the ship. Drones intercepted quietly, and energy fields scrambled sensors, leaving the aliens blind to what they faced. Theric's frustration was palpable. "Focus. Do not let a single probe fail. We must learn their weakness." Ra hissed, "Captain, every move we make, every attack, it is anticipated. They see us before we act. They control the battlefield already." "Impossible," Theric shouted. "No species can achieve that. We are an empire." But reality was undeniable. The humans' warship had transformed the battlefield. It was no longer simply a ship. It was a guardian, an intelligence, and a weapon all in one. Every alien maneuver, every strategy, every diversion was visible to Sentinel, calculated, and neutralized. Alara watched as the alien squadrons faltered. Engines overheated, shields flickered, formations collapsed. The humans did not fire their main weapons, they did not need to. The aliens were destroying themselves, guided by unseen hands and invisible rules. Marcus leaned over his console. "Captain, their leaders are panicking. Coordination is gone. They're falling into confusion even before we strike. Every wave they attempt collapses under invisible pressure." Alara's lips curved into a faint smile. "Yes. Let them break themselves. This is the final showdown, not by firepower alone, but by control, patience, and foresight. The warship does not fight blindly. We win because we understand the battlefield, anticipate it, and adapt faster than any enemy could imagine." The alien commanders tried desperate measures. Strike units sped forward in sudden flanking maneuvers, attempting to overwhelm the warship. But Sentinel predicted every vector, adjusted shields, and activated concealed microdrones. Engines failed, weapons jammed, and several ships were silently disabled before firing a single shot. Theric slammed his claws on the console. "Pull back. Regroup. Strike together." Ra shook his head. "It's too late. They are everywhere at once. We cannot control anything. The warship sees us before we act." The humans remained calm. They had studied, prepared, and anticipated this moment for years. Every hidden system, every adaptive measure, every concealed weapon remained ready. They did not need to strike recklessly. The final showdown was not about destruction. It was about control, dominance, and the enemy's realization of futility. Hours passed. The alien fleet, exhausted, fractured, and terrified, attempted retreat. Yet Sentinel tracked every ship, guiding drones to disable engines, scramble communications, and prevent coordinated withdrawal. The aliens realized too late that escape itself had been anticipated. "Captain," Marcus said quietly on his voice, "we don't even need to fire our main weapons. They cannot fight us. They are breaking apart on their own. Alara's gaze remained calm. Yes. Let this be the lesson they never forget. Fear, hesitation, and overconfidence are more dangerous than any weapon. And now, in the final showdown, they know it. Vra's voice echoed over alien comm channels. Captain, it is impossible. We cannot defeat them. They are not just a ship. They are everything we are not prepared for. Therek's face twisted with rage. We will not be defeated. Fire everything. Strike the warship at all costs. The humans, however, did not strike unnecessarily. Their strategy was clear. Let the aliens overextend. Let fear guide them, and reveal only the parts of the warship necessary to maintain control. Sentinel coordinated everything: drones, shields, energy redirection. All silently and flawlessly. Several alien ships collided with each other in confusion. Strike units overran one another. Engines failed mid-maneuver. The alien fleet was decimated without the humans even launching a full-scale attack. Alara turned to her crew. This is the final lesson. Strength without intelligence is nothing. Force without understanding is wasted. And arrogance will always be punished. Zara whispered, Captain, they will remember this forever. Entire fleets will fear humans after this. Alara's gaze moved to the distant stars. Yes. And when the galaxy speaks of Earth, they will tell of the warship that controls battles before they begin, the crew that anticipates every move, and the humans who turned fear itself into a weapon. The alien fleet finally scattered into the void. Broken, humiliated, and fearful, they carried with them a message no one could ignore. Humans were not just strong. They were beyond expectation, masters of strategy, and wielders of intelligence as a weapon. The warship remained calm, silent, a sentinel against the darkness. Its hidden systems hummed quietly, adaptive drones drifted in orbit, and shields pulsed softly like a heartbeat. Humans had won the final showdown, not through destruction, but through patience, preparation, and control. Marcus turned to Alara. Captain, we didn't even use half our capabilities. They can never underestimate us again. Alara's eyes were steady. No. And that is the lesson. Power lies not in overwhelming force, but in intelligence, foresight, and the ability to control outcomes. Today, the final showdown has proven it. Humanity is not to be underestimated. The stars around Earth glimmered silently. The humans had not fired the most powerful weapons in their arsenal. Yet the galaxy had witnessed a lesson in strategy, control, and hidden strength. Alien fleets would carry the memory of this encounter forever. The warship hovered above the blue planet, calm, victorious, and ready. The final showdown was complete, but the message had been sent. Earth had won. The galaxy had taken notice. And humanity was no longer just a species. They were forced to be reckoned with.